was around 16 a third, Ren Lodge 4.
Perfect mix of poetry and destruction. This glory of rhythm, power and majesty. The undisputed champion of the world, Frankel, wins the Juddmonte International. The Stars comes alongside Master Craftsman, eyeballs it and goes on, and it's 4 Group 1s.
And a very warm welcome to the Bastards Enquiry Dante Meeting preview. Yes, this is where the real flat racing starts now. Forget the Guineas, forget the trials, forget everything else. It's the Dante Meeting at York. This is the creme de la creme of UK flat racing. And joining me to discuss the best prospects and best bets for this week, it's my crack team. Literally crack team. John Lang. Good evening, John.
I'm sat here in just a vest with a tin of swallow feeder on the table.
I've got this vision of I don't know if you remember Oz in Ovida's Aim Pet. You know when he used to wear his mucky white vest and then mucky white front and he's wandering around. That's John tonight. Ready. And up to this.
I've packed all my clothes for travelling. I've got nothing to wear. I'm driving down in vest and pants.
an image that I will see later as John is coming to stay with me. And of course, if you fancy meeting up with me or John, get fucked. we're there on Wednesday and Thursday anyway. If you drop us a DM, you can buy us a bottle of champagne each. And last but certainly not least, he's last year's Naps King, and he's back on the trail. Hunger is Quentin Franks. He's coming for Andy Richmond, who currently leads the Naps table, unbelievably. Quentin, good evening.
Evening, Lee. Evening, all.
Yes. Okay, we're going to fire some bullets then straight away for our listeners. We've got best bets, same format as we do on the Friday show, which is the third, second, and first best bets. And Quentin, I'm going to put you straight on the spot. Your third best of the meet, please.
I'm going to go with, as my third best bet of the meeting, Highway Grey in the 16:45 tomorrow at York, obviously. Caught the eye first up in this season. Just trying to bring up the form at Doncaster, not giving a hard time. Further back than ideal in a race where it paid to be sort of handy. Soft ground didn't suit last time out at Thirsk. Again, sympathetic time under Jimmy Sullivan, not hard pressed, came home well enough under an easy ride. The seconds ran well there. Contact, he's won 4's Auto, won a handicap at Hambleton the other day, won Del Montalban, pissed up at Ascot the other day, State of Bliss. The form's strong. He's now 6 below the last winning mark on a mark of 80, back on better ground. Trip's a concern. He's not won over this, but he travels well enough, and I think he does get the trip. All in all, truth be told, double figures looks wrong. He's 12-1 in a couple of places. Obsidian Knight's the right favourite. No qualms with that being at the top of the market. You've got horses like Robert Walpole, though, that hard puller that they're going up in trip with for some reason. Highway Grey for me, 1 point win, 12-1.
You know, that's a pretty good choice, that, Quentin, and I'll give you 2 reasons why. Frog Eyes, Duran Fentiman. Really fancies this, and he was fuming that he didn't get on it because for some reason, I don't know why, but like Thick Dave isn't on Highway Grey. Jimmy Sullivan is, so Duran was going berserk. They've made him ride the 50s perk, Bolin Margaret. so nothing for Frog Eyes. Field goal, no good there. But yeah, the other reason is that Adam Norman, obviously friend of the show and pundit on our show, he does some paddock reports that he sends me. And he noted it on the 9th of April, which obviously the last time it ran, as this was his notes. He actually said carried plenty of condition. So that's exactly. So know it's
month worth of graft, isn't it?
Yeah, typical Tim. You know, like happy Tim gets it ready. And this probably looks a suitable target. So good choice. 1 point win for Quentin. 12-1. Good start for the Bar Stewards. John, your third best bet, please.
My third best bet, I'm going to keep you all in suspenders until Friday. And it's in the Fillies stakes race, and I'm taking a chance on Girl on Film for Rafe and Ralph Beckett. She was sent for a Group 2 on a second time up at HQ. Ralph had her dropped out. Rafe didn't want this, but Ralph overruled. She was a little unbalanced going into the dip, I thought. She started sprawling about a bit under the jockey and didn't really cope terribly well with the dip, I thought. She didn't finish too far behind Jumbly on that occasion, and Jumbly was a bit more race savvy for me. So, and this filly had the physical scope to suggest she can reverse the form. Jumbly's a fairly short price here. I have taken 12-1 about this filly. I think this is much more suitable course and distance for her, really, and I like her quite a bit. Frankie as well, which I think is a plus.
Well, it's funny. I had 2 comments for Quentin on what notes I'd got, and there's another one for you here that I like this filly a lot on debut. Physically very imposing.
Good type, isn't she?
Real good type.
She looked the type that's just going to make a better 3-year-old than the one she was racing against at the Newmarket. Like, she very much a 3-year-old on looks. That's what I've got down on her.
Yeah, no, I think that's...
12-1 was ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that's a cracking bet, John. And he's booked the eye tie.
The sardine, he's up.
The sardine he's on.
Booked on Sunday, believe it or not.
Yeah, the bullish is Rafe and Ralph. Be interesting to see what the brothers say if interviewed on the telly. So that's 1 point win for John. 12-1 girl on film on Friday. I can see that collapsing. It could be a very, very shrewd bet from John there for his third bet. My third best bet is again on Friday, but there's a proviso with this because I don't see the point of you going in until it's declared, because I'm not sure this will run, but it's in the big one on Friday in the Yorkshire Cup, and I'm very keen this season to support Kyprios of Aidan O'Brien this season. I think this is I've followed this all its career, really. I've got financially involved with it, and I've got probably a little bit emotionally involved with it. I tipped it up in the Lingfield Derby trial last year. But the horse clearly has issues, or did have issues, where he's a little bit tricky. You know, he was tricky when he won at Cork. He was basically a bit on and off the bridle and a bit naughty in the Lingfield Derby trial. He then got withdrawn in the upset in the stalls in the Queen's Vase, had to be withdrawn, and then last time out I saw a completely different colt. Absolutely, completely different. Now, that could be, does the horse travel? It's ran twice in England and disappointed badly twice in England, once in the Zetland and once in the Derby trial. It could be. But I generally think that things like that are just generally down to maturity and a horse. And what I saw at Navan was an absolutely wonderful performance. It beat its sibling, Search for a Song. And I mean, what a family it is, really. You know, John likes going through like a decent mare and what they've produced, and you just look at the progeny of the dam: Free Eagle, Custom Cut, Search for a Song, Sapphire, Kyprios, Falcon 8. The list is endless. Amagrace. You know, it's produced 7 horses. Producing ratings above 100, and Kyprios is such a has been a slow burner for me. I think this could be a really big year for him. And against the principles, I mean, you're dealing with good horses here, but you're also dealing with horses probably a trip short of the best. For example, Trushan is probably not a proper 1 3/4 horse. You know, he's probably a genuine 2-miler. I think he'd be fine at 1 3/4, but is he going to produce his very best? Stradivarius is now 8. Scope wants soft ground, in my opinion. Max Vega, I think, also might want a little bit more cut, ideally. Tashcan definitely wants more cut. And I'm thinking, well, you've already just beaten Search for a Song at Navan, and the Weld form are very out of form. So I'm thinking, if this is sort of like, when they declare, if this is sort of like 5 or 6-1, that's where my money will be going. I think this is the new kid on the block. And yeah, that's where my money is. The proviso for my third best, though, is if that doesn't run, I'll give you a third best in the Hambleton, which is a split stakes wanker bet, 0.5 point each on Cruyff Turn, Deja Vu, and Lion Tower. because I believe there's no pace in that race. And inside draws, I think, will play well. I think those two will run big and carry forward the form of the First Cup. I think that's a good little dual play. Grant Chewers have been needing a run, so that's my alternatives for my third best. Sorry for the long-winded shite. So John, I'm coming back to you for your second best.
Okie doke, get your klaxon ready. My second best bet is Highway Grey in the 4:45 on Wednesday.
Bing bong.
I thought I heard a murmur.
Yeah, I'm absolutely convinced this could have finished an awful lot closer at Thirsk. The horse does carry a wee bit of condition, probably not as much as Adam spotted on the last day at Thirsk. I assumed one would straighten him up enough to go close. I actually tipped him that day. I saw enough to suggest that the horse is very, very favourably handicapped. I thought he ran on quite nicely through the line. I've no concerns about the trip whatsoever. I think he'll get a nice sit in this race. Usual York styles will come up the middle. Shouldn't be any issues about getting a run. I think he's a really, really solid each-way poke at 12s.
Yeah, I mean that I will ring the klaxon. It is the klaxon because obviously what in my notes and what Johan Fentiman said, he was absolutely sick that he wasn't on the horse. He says he thinks it'll win. They've got it spot on. Quentin's tipped it. What more do you want?
Dave?
You what?
Where's Dave?
He's not got a ride in the race.
What's Dave doing?
That's weird. That's strange, isn't it? I don't actually know. I don't know if there's any kind of ban or. I'm not sure.
Playing golf.
That's weird.
No, he's got no rides tomorrow.
Unless
I guess he's banned. He's back Thursday.
Yeah, be banned. That's what it is. That's why Duran's sick. He's not on, John.
I think Dave's giving Ronnie 9 round Fulford or something.
I've seen Dave a few times. He plays at Middleton. At Middleton Golf Course. That's where I've seen Dave a few times. But God knows if that's his home track now. Good golfer is Dave. Plays off 5, John.
Can't hit it very far though.
You can't be thick if you play off 5 though. You've got to have some craft, haven't you?
We know he's not thick. There's only 2 people in the country think he's thick, and they're cunt.
Good old Indian jockey tapes. We like that. Anyone that's not listened to that conversation before should go on YouTube and put Indian jockey race fixing tapes, and you'll hear poor Dave going absolute lambasting from Dwyer and Mulrennan, John. It were, weren't it?
2 no account shitbags.
Yeah. Okay, right. I'll before we come back to Quentin, because I'm reversing it round. Briefly, my second best 225 York tomorrow is my second best. Very, very keen on the David O'Mara train Nomadic Empire. I think this will go off a lot shorter than 6-1 that's currently available. It ran absolute blind on reappearance where it would have won really with any kind of clean run behind Avago Joe. It ran 2 Stormers at this course and distance last year, being chairman of the board and then 4th to volatile analyst on ground that had probably gone against him a little bit. Once it on top really, and the draw for me is key here because most of the pace is all around him, and I think he can just for stall 6 is absolutely a perfect position. He could just sit, stalk, hopefully, and get produced late on. And he's one of them that if anyone could get good each way turned on the race, if you want to play safe, this horse, there's not going to be many beating this horse tomorrow. So Nomadic Empire, very, very strong. I am at 6-1. I will be around the 7-2 mark. I'll be 7-2 fav on this horse. I think it runs big tomorrow. Nomadic Empire, 2 points, win 6s. Okay, Quentin, your second best.
I'm going to go for a bet in the Hambleton. I'm going to pose you 2. I think there's a bit of pace on. I think there's a bit of pace wide. Isle of Kai, Garden Oasis, and then the Cruyff Turn Line Tower will push forward. I'm along your same form line to the First Cup. I'm going to hope Duran Fentiman can give this a decent ride, and I'm going to put up Snash or Snash or however you want to call it. Similar to lines of Highway Grey. thought it's taken a couple of runs to put him straight. He kind of caught the eye at Haydock first up, further back than ideal, not hard pressed, but was just getting there at the end over 7 furlongs. First cup, he ended up 4 deep, 3 deep throughout. There's no bad thing at first, but he kind of got hampered by several rivals coming into the straight, hampered again, and then kept on well enough. Shannon's thing, which he finished ahead of, didn't get dropped. He got dropped a pound in the weights for a run. He was clearly unlucky in the run. He's a pony 25 to 1. I think he's capable of this, Mark. A couple of runs to put him straight. I like him at 25 to 1. 2 points win.
Okay, that's a monster. I know you like this because on a previous show you felt that, I think it was after the Boardman run. And you said that you'd love to see this one in a few runs, maybe back on the all weather, etc. And all weather hits, and you'd be piling on. So yeah, I mean, but like I say, it should be quick ground. There are showers forecast at York tomorrow. Just briefly, I don't think there's going to be much, and it's pretty dry all week there. So unless they go mad with the watering, I think it's going to ride nice and nice. Good to quick ground anyway, compared to so at least it's not Goodwood or Haydock. We don't know what we're going to get. So Snash, a great bet there again. This is a trend, Tim Easter, the Tim Easterby trend. Quentin's Quentin loves Happy Tim. I'm wondering if John's going to go with his best bet on Happy Tim, just to make it a Happy Tim show. So what I'm going to do, John, for the best bets, I'm coming to you. Is it Happy Tim?
Is it fuck? No, actually, Quentin's going to be livid with me over this one. This is in the 410 on Friday, and this is Hilts.
Ooh, they don't run, no chance.
Well,
what do you think?
I don't think they run. But
I think if this does run, I think this pisses up. To be honest, it'd be running £2 wrong, but for me, he'd rate a good thing. He just got up to beat Zimmerman at Reg when he was set what looked an impossible job, really. 2 furlongs out, he wasn't winning anything. He ran right through the line that day. Looked for all the world like he'd improved for 12. Any quicker than good ground would be a concern, but I think good ground will be absolutely fine around there. There's always a good cover in the grass. A £6 rise does not convey superiority in that race. He was ripping past Zimmerman at the line. He's still a little way off equaling the ratings of his 2 half siblings. If anything, his Sayers an upgrade on the other 2. And I think Quentin's made a good pick there, because I think he could prove quite useful in time, this horse. Certainly considerably better than even his current mark.
I can remember when, it's 39 days ago. Time flies.
Yeah.
I can remember after the race, John, and me and you said, geez, obviously a very good pick from Quentin on the followers.
Short Ed Franks.
But the thing was, it was short Ed Franks that day, but it was much the best Franks.
It was short Ed that should have been 5 or 6, shouldn't it?
It really could. I mean, it's pretty sweet. I'm one of these that because I love a shorty. I'd have loved to have seen this pop up in a. I don't know, let's say 0 to 75, 0 to 80, and be sort of 7 or 4, 13 away, and I'd have happily just started emptying, I'd have just shove it more on.
I think once people latch onto this, I think it'd be 7 to 4 in this.
I think it's just a class thing. I'm just one of these where you're taking on, obviously you're having to run faster per furlong. I take the point on board. This is going to be miles better than 69. So does it matter that much? If you've got plenty in hand, you've got plenty in hand. So it's one of them. Yeah, John, I like it. Have you seen any early prices?
I have.
Or is it not
I'm perfectly happy to go 3 points to win. I don't envisage any danger if this runs.
Interesting.
There is 11 to 1 kicking about with Paddy Power.
That's it. That's all right.
Oh,
so
Unibet even.
Right. So keep your eye out. So we'll probably give John the 11s because we like that. Anything to stop Quentin winning the naps. So that's so 3 points. Hilts at 11.
Could be, well, if Hilts wins, he could be hoisted by his own petard, as Rees-Mogg would say.
Yes, that's it. Yes, Quentin chief informer, and then like you say, he's put right on the chopping block for his own exploits. Anyway, okay, Quentin, I'm coming to you for your twa points. Eurovision. Eurovision. Yeah.
It's like Ukraine have that wrapped up, don't they?
8 to 11, Ukraine at the moment. That could be the nap of the week. They probably should be fives on the sympathy vote. It's going to be.
Song. Have you heard it?
I've listened to it. To me, it's one of those quirky ones that you can see some people liking. I mean, it's not my cup of tea. But...
I can see 4 people across the whole of Europe liking it. You're entirely vote, aren't you? I mean, anybody that likes music is just going to switch that off because it's shit.
I'm mad John's happy John today.
Oh, this is just superb. Personally, I'd rather be a backer at 8. Quentin, would you be a backer Ukraine at 8 to 11?
I wouldn't be a layer of it at 8 to 11. They win because of the sympathy vote, don't they?
Yeah.
I think Belarus got in it.
You what, John?
Belarus got in it.
They're not. I think they banned them and Russia. I believe. I know they banned Russia, but I know Belarus aren't in.
And they took a bit of 66s just for devilment.
Right. Okay, we're going to move on to Quentin's best now. After Eurovision rubbish. Sorry, Quentin.
No, that's all right. Oh, you got the United Kingdom third favourites. Wow.
Incredible. It's actually, to be fair to the UK, I know it's the Eurovision show. It's a good song.
No class.
You got too much time on your hands, Lee, if you've got time to listen to Eurovision songs.
I love Eurovision. I love it. Anyway, sorry, Quentin. Your best.
My best bet is, where's it gone? The 16-10 at York tomorrow. You've got the Gosden, the Tory thing by he's taken up a chunk out of the market. They put him 11.085 to 4. I wasn't really too keen on him. I know he's a nice model, but he hung right under pressure last time out, and I just didn't like him. They've given him 88, and I feel there's a lot of improvement baked into his price. That, along with you've got a Group 1 entry at Royal Ascot. I'm keen to take him on with the Cookstown Cafu. I liked him as a type last season. Nice model, going to make a better 3-year-old. Did too much too soon at York. Got picked off in a race that has worked out reasonably well. Richard Fahey's the Blenheim boys now, rated in the 90s. Elas ran at Lingfield, didn't handle Lingfield, but he's a lot better than that. And Emperor Caradoc, he won since and then came behind the Blenheim boy at Ripon. I'm pretty sure he's going to make a better 3-year-old. He's going to prove better than a 79 rated horse. Doncaster race looks okay form. 3 points win at 8 to 1, I think, still kicking about.
Yeah, another good choice from you. We were on the same lines a lot, me and you. Sam Buru, I felt was very skinny for what he's achieved. Yeah, he might win, but I couldn't see 5 to 4 he is at the minute. I did find that incredible. Just absolutely no value.
Dirty looking bastard, and he's got horrible knees.
There you go. That's from our paddock man as well. So you've heard it here on the show. Cookstown Cafu. Quentin's put some belting prices. 8 to 1 available for his 3 points. If Quentin lands a treble, we're all top.
I'll be off to Eurovision.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, get your tickets for Turin, Quentin. I want to see you in the audience, swaying with the candles when Ukraine have won, that kind of thing. When you've lumped on the 8 to 11, when you pass posting because you're seeing it a minute before everyone else on the screens, taking the prices.
Just see Quentin with Graham Norton commenting. Quentin's in the middle of a big group of benders having a bloody foam party.
On we go.
There goes your invite, John, when I land the treble.
Yeah, that's it. John's finished. My best. Save the best till last. After all these fantastic prices we've been tipped from John and Quentin, here comes my blogger very best. But I like a shorty. Nothing wrong with a shorty. 150 at York tomorrow. It's going to be all over for me, the Dante meeting in the first two races, because my best two bets are in the first two, and I'm hammering both. Well, I've already tried to get on.
I'm dreading 2:30 tomorrow.
I know.
You'll be sat there with the face like a fucking smacked ass for 4 hours.
It's true. It's actually true. 150 at York tomorrow. The shirt. The shirt is, as me and John have often pointed out on the show, is the pound for pound the best trainer in the UK today. You won't get a better trainer than the shirt. And Garci tomorrow is literally, I think, this is a real good horse. I'm thinking this season he probably reaches 110. He's off 94 tomorrow. Won't have to get to 110 tomorrow to win this. But he's a really good horse. Some huge sectional timing upgrades. I'm sorry to be a sectional bore at times, but when you notice things like this, I don't think there's anything in here that is particularly like well in. You know, it's a good race. There's some good horses, everything else. But if I'm thinking Garci is going to be Group 3 stroke Group 2 stroke Ebor class, then 2-1 has got to be devoured. And I know it's been bigger earlier, but you can't do anything about that. I genuinely think it goes off a very heavily back favourite. I'll be astonished if this has every chance and he's beaten. And I think, chaps, we discussed this off air. If you win this, you're in the Ebor. Is that right? Or have we got this right?
That's been the thing.
Yeah, that looks the case.
Yeah, like obviously the Sky Bet race to the Ebor is probably a slight giveaway, but like we also said, if Forza Auto wins off 83 and he goes up to 88, well, I don't know how you get. I don't know if that applies, but anyway.
Wait,
but yes,
run £14 wrong, couldn't he?
Well, that's it. Yeah, you could. So you'd be bottom weight, essentially running £14 wrong. I get that. Probably more. Do you know what would make that more interesting throughout the summer? It's probably a really good initiative, that, because everyone's bored with these like really expensive handicaps and top weights 110 and bottom weights like 98. It's a bit boring. I'm sure sometimes we'd like to see like something get in because it's won a particular trial. That would encourage more horses then to try and go in and win a trial and get their place.
Off the proper mark, though, and get a fucking Panamanian emaciated git to ride him, wouldn't you?
Well, just D'Souza's off a lightweight these days. He's still doing lightweights, I believe.
Well, he hadn't ridden any winners, has he? He can't afford to wait.
King Powers sacked him. It's disastrous. Poor D'Souza.
He's eating squirrels, he's still.
It's like Uncle Rural Gourmet.
Oh, dear.
In the pot, he puts anything in the pot. Anything. Absolutely anything. Anyway, we're going to move on now. So that's my best. Garci, 3 points, 2-1. A blogger. I bet your blogger's putting that one up. If he isn't, I'll be surprised. We'll go on to the remainder of the principal race at York. So we'll start on Tuesday, where, like John's rightly says, I'll be heading hands early stages. Have I just said Tuesday? Right.
You know, I even put on my notes like
Tuesday.
First day Tuesday. How long has it been starting on a Wednesday now? I just cannot get fucking used to it.
And we're not even editing this. It's funny. It's funny that I'm an idiot. But I mean, the other thing is as well. I mean, it's gin induced, But I agree with John. It used to be Tuesday, didn't it? We're old school.
With the Ebor meeting, I'm thinking Judgment Tuesday, And
yeah,
most meetings do start on a Tuesday nowadays. That's why I put Tuesday down early. I was like, fuck it, it's Wednesday tomorrow. Jesus.
Yeah. Don't let them think about it for Tuesday though, because the fucking Ebor meeting will be 5 days then. We'll have 2 sellers.
No. Actually, credit to York. I mean, everyone looks at the York pricing this week and champions it. I think you can have a 3-day county stand badge, the best that they offer, for 96 quid. 32 notes a day to see the kind of racing on offer is very reasonable.
Not bad at all. You can get into Windsor for one meeting for that.
31 Windsor plus a £3 fulfilment fee. Dirty Windsor, to have 747s above your head all night, and drowning you out, and and £14 burgers. In fact, don't get me wrong, the burgers are good at these stands at Windsor, but it's like they're about 14 quid. It's just, I could see me taking John down. I could take John down at Windsor, and that'd be it. He'd be miserable all night. He wouldn't pay 14 quid for a burger with John. Anyways, we'll start Tuesday.
Wednesday.
No, Wednesday. Wednesday. Yes. It's not tomorrow. Wednesday. Yes. Right, Wednesday. I've tipped him first. So you on ITV race, you two, anything in here?
I have it on reasonably good authority that Just Trine's expected to run pretty well. I don't think he's expected to beat Gassi, but they are hopeful of him making some progress this year.
Yeah. Quentin?
Just fine. They pulled it out at Chester last week, didn't they? Declared it. Garcia looks the rock solid one. It's up against kind of a load of ones that don't have as much upside as him. No bet for me in the race unless I tail you in on Garcia. There was nothing really that stood out that I was too keen on.
Cool. 225 then, the Churchill Tyres Handicap. I'll set this one out again, having tipped Nomadic Empire. Quentin?
My notes on Nomadic Empire: moral winner of the day, run should bring on, tank for the race, better than a result, gaps not opening at the right times. Clearly got the course form, right side of the draw, one to beat. Premier Power was semi-interesting with the tongue tie first start for Happy Tim. For some reason, I keep having notes on his horses, but he was with Varian last year, but I feel he's more of an all-weather horse. Punchbowl Fly is one to watch. Hopefully they run. This has a big race in him on soft ground.
Yeah, when he drops down the handicap a bit. Yeah. Agreed. John?
My record in York Sprint handicaps is on a par with Harold Shipman's record at curing arthritis in old ladies, so I'll sit this one out.
Brilliant. 3 o'clock race is, I thought, one of the trickiest races to solve of the stakes races this week. The Duke of York. Interesting race tile. So I'm surprised they haven't stripped it of him, John. It's because probably the woke masses haven't been on Twitter complaining about the race title.
I don't know if I can call it William Darby tomorrow. I'm going to ask him why they haven't got shot of him.
Yeah,
they've called it the 1895 Duke of York. So
yeah,
right, cover their back somewhat, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I've just seen that. Wow, 1895. I've just seen that now.
Well,
wow.
How do we know he wasn't a kiddie fiddler?
Yeah, he had 1,400
pushed up. I mean,
1,400 slaves, John. Yeah.
There was no internet in them days, word didn't get out. He was probably buggering people left, right, and centre for all I know.
And he marched 10,000 slaves up a hill.
Exactly, a bastard.
Any of you here? I just thought again, like Minzal will probably be ridden the wrong way for this track, held up, which like Minzal I'd be keen to sort of look at this season, being a 4-year-old now, but I was a bit worried that Ben Jim will drop him out and just sit there until late in the day. You two, any thoughts on the race?
I had a rather interesting conversation with my variant snout over this race, actually. He was adamant at first that Dragon the Symbol had improved since he got there. I said, well, how do you know he's improved? You had nothing to do with him when he was elsewhere.
Fair point.
He was a bit flummoxed at that. But he said, well, he's done well for us. So I said, well, he could have been let down when he was with the other players. Archie Watson, wasn't it?
Yeah, Archie, yeah.
But he's adamant this is going to run a big race. Other than that, I'm not really excited about it, to be honest, because I thought a lot of the sprinters last year were much of a muchness, and this one kept finding one to tell good anyway, and he's a bit of a shit price, so I'm not really bothered.
Yeah. Quentin?
I'd probably prefer it if he gets bait anyway, and I can say to me snout, well, there you are, you didn't know he'd improved.
You would as well. You definitely would.
I would. I like pulling them up when they're talking shit.
Quentin?
Dragon Symbol brought me nothing but pain last summer. I played him 40s and 33s anti-post for the Commonwealth Cup to see him win the race and then get kicked out. That was a tough take. Like you, Lee, I thought this and the Middleton were the hardest races in terms of stakes races. I thought they were both impossible, and just there's kind of angles in, and then you look at that angle and like, no. So it was one I missed out on.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's afternoon tea, John. Tomorrow we're in the Wayne Room restaurant. Afternoon tea. We'll order afternoon tea for the 1895 Duke of York.
Yeah, we get me gums round a nice strawberry flan.
Right, the Musidora. Emily up John, heavily backed 8-11. Nice big fillet. I again found this very tricky. I probably do agree that obviously she should be favourite. Should she be as short, chaps?
Should be shorter, shouldn't she?
Okay. I was just thinking on the Sandown run. Obviously, that I know she was very impressive, and I'm being a bit picky. That obviously I don't think there was much in behind her. But what do you expect her to do other than win 9.5? She looking at the times of the other races, and I'm a bit worried about Sandown time sometimes, because the sprint race, for example, which is like tailwind all the way, they gave that a massive figure. They didn't take account for the win for me that day. It was a strong tailwind. So I'm always wary of timed races when there is strong winds, because it's difficult then to get a proper bearing. But I did come around that she probably ran to about 100 to 105 at Sandown. That was if I was asked to assess her, that would be my assessment. So she's definitely the one to beat. So it's just interesting. You, Quentin, think she should be shorter? She took them apart at Sandown, like you said. She probably beat Trees in behind. You had the 8 for Motion that came and won. What was it, 16, 18 wickets at Kempton? Which what was her time? 77 on the clock with a 2-stone upgrade. So that kind of ties in with a low to mid 105, 106 figure, something like that. You look at the race. There's not. You could have been. I know you were against her on Sunday, and it looked a bit deeper the race then. But you've got the Beckett thing needs Simcox thing even needs soft ground. Beckett's probably needs soft ground as well. The Algarve, fine, it'll progress like many of Aidan O'Brien's have. And then you got Life of Dreams, who kind of half seemed clued up enough and was strong in the market on debut. Like I went 4-7. And a tight 4-7. I was quite happy with 4-7 on Emily Upjohn when I priced the race. I'll probably play her at 8-11. There's enough percentage wise in it for me to have a stab at her. But I couldn't put anyone off backing her for the Oaks. She's 4-1. She's 4-1 for the Oaks. If you want to play it that way, if she wins, she's going to shorten. If not, then they'll probably still run her, because it's not. It doesn't look a deep Oaks at this stage, does it? No, it doesn't. And I think that was John's reason on Sunday for, looking at the Algarve, because I think John is like not enamoured by the Fillies. And John, the pedigree of the Algarve, again, it's something to be admired, is it not?
It just rakes improving filly over middle distances this year. She'll be ridden handy. She'll steer the trip standing on her head. I'm not entirely convinced Emily Upjohn won much of a race at Sandown. I know it has thrown up good horses in the past. I think User Friendly won that maiden, actually. Yeah. But no, 8-11, 8-1. I'd be very tempted to play the Algarve each way, to be honest, 2 places, because I think she'll definitely beat the other lot.
Yeah, good stuff. No, like I said, it's an interesting choice, and I respect both your opinions there. So Quentin likes the 8 to 11. He thinks that's good value, and you should be a little bit short than that. And John likes the Algarve, and I'll probably touch the pair. and then Appleby will win with the carrots. Big carrots. Anyway, 410. Quentin's already covered this in terms of Samburu. I agree that I think that's my angle on the race. I'm probably going to lay Samburu, John, because there is no 5 to 4 shot in this. I would have liked probably a bit more quality in the race to be more confident I'll get it beat. But anything you saw here?
I think Harlong Bale run well.
Well, it's the same one. What's the other one you tipped to there? Is it the same ownership? What was it? What was it? Oh, it's that one, isn't it? It's I'm thinking the other ones ran today, I think, from the men's yard. But yeah, Harlong Bay. Your tip itself, 72 now.
Yeah, I think this can go up to 80 over the course of the season. I don't know whether this might come a bit sharp for it, but I still think it's open a bit more improvement. I love the horse's attitude. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't put anybody off backing it. I don't know whether I'll back it or not, to be honest, but I think run well.
No, there's not a lot of depth to the race, is there? You kind of go through them, and Darman looks to have a lofty mark based on an all-weather run. Like Code Purple, what was that run at Musselburgh? Like Harlong Bay, his attitude's there. He's decent jockey up in Joe Mason. Like, what are you getting? 3 places? 3 places, yeah. Looks fair at 14s each way, to be honest.
Yeah, no depth, as we've said. Okay, we'll go on to Wednesday. We'll go on to we'll go on to Thursday's cards. People think I'm doing it on purpose now. The 150 at York, Rarsell for the cock watchers. Is his favourite at 4 to 1. Copper Knight, 13 to 2 chance. Absolute standing dish at York. 6 victories over course and distance. Love that horse. Any thoughts here, chaps?
Well, if Tim gets Copper Knight to win that, he's better than David Blaine, isn't he?
Yeah. I think Dave's back as well. Back. From his golfing day, John.
Surely to God he can't win that, can he?
I don't know. Well, he's off a career. I mean, I think he's won off 106 before, if I'm right. 104 is very high. So it is a difficult task. Rarsell's drawn a little bit wider than I'd like if I was punting at a shorter price. Like Rarsell's probably going to be about 7 to 2 on the day, and you're looking trap 11. I just don't. I'm not a fan of double figure draws. At York on the sprint course at the minute. So, Quentin, thoughts?
The one that I pondered putting it up as my 3rd best bet, like you just said, the draw put me off in 12. Strong Power, clearly an improved for Alice Haynes. Turf marks of 87, so they've split the mark with its all-weather mark. But there's nothing really to say. I know his improvements come on your weather, but there's nothing to say that he doesn't go on turf at all. He's bolted up at Lingfield on the turf course in a good time previously. He's got turf form there, so he's. I think it's £8 below his all-weather mark. I think there's legs in him. I've got in my notes that York's something they'll probably aim at early season. 16s in a place, 12 Gen. Again, I want to see what the draw does tomorrow, and then I'll kind of decide from there. But he was one that was in notebook and somewhat interesting.
He was my big nap bet in the listed race where he finished 3rd to One Night Stand and Mondamedge. On the 26th of Feb, and I've always marked him.
Mondamedge in this?
What? I don't know. I mean, John, you'd have said Mondamedge is a nap, wouldn't you, to be out this week?
Oh, you'd have had your bollocks on, wouldn't you?
I don't know. Maybe he's gone to the well too often, as Anthony.
Maybe had a nervous breakdown the heart.
There's certainly no. He doesn't miss a dance. Does
his dance card is permanently full. That right man.
Yeah, I like Quentin's choice. So it's like I said, stall 12 puts me off a bit, but I do like the horse. I'm like Quentin. I think.
Oh, three, isn't it, really? I mean,
yeah, I think it's three figures.
The pedigree doesn't scream all weather, you know.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Kodiak's statistically, a little bit better on turf. And I'm not screaming. I've never screamed about an all-weather pedigree for Kodiak. So Quentin makes a good point. The Middleton, then in the 225, a very, very tricky race. I was very underwhelmed by Noon Star from the Baron at Nottingham. Very disappointed, actually. In fact, if you're going on form and video and eyes and everything else, Ville de Grace is the other one. Definitely achieved more last time out, John.
And a nicer type as well. I mean, she's a fussy, arsey little bastard, this Moan Star, isn't she?
Not much of her at all. Not much
Yeah.
at all.
You can't take to her, I mean, she's obviously got ability in spades, because, I mean, I dare say, I bet she works all over Ville de Grace,
Yeah.
But, I mean, to me, this is absolutely no contest. You just go with the uncomplicated Thunder Kiss from Grrr Lions.
Grrr.
Do you think it gets away with 10 though?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, like you said, dropping 12 to 10, John.
Yeah, Night of Thunder, is a decent influence for pace. And there's another one in there who'll probably make it for them, for Barons. They're not the after-age people.
That's the Galtrees winner, wasn't it? At the Ebor, the forbearance. Yeah, she's progressive enough. But again,
it's going to make it a test, that one, isn't it?
Yeah. Are we in the tricky camp then, Quentin? We saying
Yeah, I didn't like Noon Star. Yeah, it was underwhelming what she did in Nottingham. Like, I know it was steadily run race and all that, but I think people have just thought, oh, it's Michael Stout. She's gone from 3 to 4. She's going to improve as many of his do, but. Like John said, there's not much of her at all. Like normally there's a bit of size and body to work with to keep getting progression, but there isn't. And
when you look at what Midday's thrown as well, that Sir Michael Stout's had, they had that Midi that was a shithouse, Maury shithouse, and mid-term didn't really fulfil potential. She's not a road mare that throws particularly likeable stock, although there's like 3 black tapers in there. They're not horses that you take to and want to be betting.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
No.
I dislike Midday as a road mare.
Yeah, no, fair comments.
What's she actually done on the track though? This Noon Star, like she's. Best effort was in probably the Ribblesdale, you'll say, last year.
Yeah, probably straight down.
But what were the 3-year-old fillies last year? Nothing. Like it was a bad crop. So I'll probably take her on with the Irish. I don't know what I'm going to do on the race, but it won't be back in Noon Star at 5 to 2, 3 to 1.
No, I agree with that. That's one thing you can't back because she can be very flighty, very keen. So that's one thing the Barsters will be avoiding is Noon Star. Case in point there from Quentin and John. 3 o'clock is the Hambleton. Me and Quentin have already had our say in this in terms of what we're expecting. John, any thoughts for you? Could it be deja vu for Happy Tim and Thick Dave?
It could be, but I don't feel I've lost quite enough on Trey Fleur yet. I think I definitely need to lose another couple of hundred before I can leave this one alone. Desperate in the first cup. I mean, tearing your hair out wasn't in it, was it?
No.
Just awful. Come on, Sil, find me a gap, please.
But don't you see more of the same from Iron Hands?
Well, at least you're going to come up the middle. I would suggest. I thought there was 2 interesting ones actually. I thought that one and Gifted Ruler having its first run for Carlton Palmer.
Yeah.
Away from the Dascombe Death Camp.
Yeah.
I thought that remains a horse of potential. Especially at the mile plus even. I noticed he had this horse in a 10 furlong race later in the week. Good jockey bulking as well. I'd probably play both of these. I've got to play Trade Flair because if he won, I'd jump off the fucking stand, I'm afraid.
And I'd have to witness it. But there we go.
Exactly.
We don't want that. 3:35 York, then the principal race of the week, the Dante. What are we saying about this, Ute? I'd love to get you two's thoughts on this. Quentin, I'll come to you first.
It was. I went backwards and forwards on the race. I wanted to kind of Desert Crown. I wouldn't say it was style over substance. There was substance there, but it was a lot of style. Different ground shouldn't be a problem given the way he moves. Magisterial, I didn't particularly like it. 11-4, 5-2. Running the race at Leicester, beat a well-regarded one that you had a shout for from the Appleby yard. But the fourth and the fourth went off odds on. The third went off odds on last night at Windsor. Got stuffed. El Bogdan running the race in a steadily run race over at St. Cloud, beat the now Derby favourite, but was seen the best effect. I'm pretty sure that needs soft ground given the way it moves and the fact they've campaigned him pretty much solely on soft ground. The one that I wanted to come back to but didn't want to come back to was Royal Patronage, and like York, where he's probably put up his best performance when winning the Acomb. I think he'll get the trip, but it's just a nagging doubt on my head that they're just going to gun him from the front, and I don't particularly want that sort of ride. If I had to have a bet in the race, it would probably be Royal Patronage at double figures. I think that's fair. I wouldn't be wanting to lay double figures. I wouldn't wanting to lay 15-2, 7-1. So I think I'm going to end up backing him for my sins.
It's interesting you say this because that's where I say sadly because it's the kill. But that's where I came down at. He's already nibbled that. Did touch 14s into 11-1 at the time of recording, but I still think that's big. 8th in a Guineas. He's beat the Guineas winner, albeit fortuitously. I think the Marner course is about perfect for him here. And I don't understand why he's such a big price. How can you have a horse with an official rating of 99, i.e. Magisterial, like you just said, that had the run of the race at Leicester? I do like Magisterial. I think there's a lot more to come. But Royal Patronage, an official rating of 112, and he's 11-1 versus 11-4. It makes absolutely no sense. And as much as I dislike the handling of the horse and what they've ended up doing with Royal Patronage, I just feel that this could be his derby on Saturday. John, what do you think?
Well, we know for sure the derby won't be his derby, don't we?
Well, yeah.
So, I mean, in all honesty, when you look at the prices on offer and the form and the ratings, there's only one horse you can back. And that's Royal Patronage.
That takes a lot for you to say it about giving the trainer, doesn't it?
It does. Because, I genuinely despise the man. I think he's an imbecile. So, if this hadn't run in the Guineas, I'd have probably had a fair old tonk at this. But I am concerned that it put in an absolute lungbuster in the Guineas and was probably going half a stride faster than it would benefit from for most of the race.
Yeah.
Now, whether it's come out of that fantastic or not, we won't know. It's a typical killed, hit and hope thing, isn't it? It was just going straight here and then he talked him into going to the Guineas and if he blows out here, he'll be at fucking Goodwood next week, won't he? We know that.
Yeah.
I don't know. 11-1's tempting for a horse with such a good rating. For what it's worth, I don't make him 112, I make him 108. But that still puts him right bang in it,
If he runs his race, he's got to go well. That's the thing. Like you said, John, if he's not bottomed from the Guineas, he's got to go well, you would think.
Run well. How could you take the 9-4 Desert Crown as opposed to the 11-1 this? Desert Crown might piss up, but You know, you're not being a clever by taking that price.
No.
If Johnston threw in a signed autobiography, would you be more inclined to back it at 11-1?
No, because my coffee table stands quite evenly. I don't need anything to prop it up at the moment.
Right, time's running short, so we're going to move just on to just the one race on the Friday, Yorkshire Cup, which I've already said my opinion. Any views on the Yorkshire Cup, chaps?
Not knowing what's going to run. Stradivarius has come in for support, which kind of suggests that Trushan isn't going to run. That's the only reason I can see that. Scope needs soft ground. Tashscan ran well at Ascot and probably needs easier ground, but everything else in the race had the benefit of race fitness. I'd like to see the final field before making any sort of decision, but Kyprios for the cases you made, more than fair, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he's really up and coming. I think mentally as well. If he repeats what he did last time and he's straightforward like that, head down, no hanging left or right. He was absolutely gun barrel straight. I think if he repeats that, I think he's going to be very tough for Stradivarius to beat, because Stradivarius obviously got to give him the £3 as well on official ratings. That brings him just about par, about £1 in it, and yet Stradivarius is going to be heavily bet with the Sardinian up, and. Yeah, that's how I stood on the race. John?
Well, for me, Troshan and Scope are both swamp gullies. Strad's due to pension. I was delighted with Kyprios because I backed him when he won at Leopardstown, making his sister pointless. Most of Aiden's older ones come on for a run anyway, so you can factor some improvement into that, really. I mean, you'd be 75% sure he's going to come on for it. I think he's right in the mix as a stayer this year. And it's a good race for him. I think Aiden is absolutely mental if he doesn't declare for this. And I've had a bit on. Yeah,
good stuff. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up. We've run out of time. We've had some fun, and hope you've enjoyed the show. We're back on Friday as usual and Sunday with our normal pods. Let's hope some brilliant winners at York this week, and we hope we will line your pockets with gold. That's all from me, John and Quentin. Bye for now.